can do that. So Lakshmi, if you are good, we can start off
Yes.
with the presentation.
Okay, thanks, Kavya. Good evening, Rashmi.
Hey, hi. Good evening, everyone.
Uh, yeah, I request Padmashri to please take on. Would you please start it, Padmashri?
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Padmasri. We all welcome you to this Udan presentation. We thank you for planning this present. To- Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Padmashri.
Padma.
Thanks for planning to attend this presentation. We have here the agenda. Amadeus Udan team introduction, and we will introduce to the task list and brief about the base code task explanation, and then we'll go for questions and feedback. Uh, Here is a short introduction about Udan C++ team. And we thank Amadeus for providing us the opportunity to pursue our passion in software industry. We all were assigned 11 tasks. All of us have contributed in all of the layers. And now Medha will give introduction about base code of this project.
Yeah. Thank you, Padmashri. I am Medha. Good evening, all. So I will be giving brief introduction about our base code. Ours is a chat server application built on REST API. It does not have any GUI. We have four layers: application layer, business layer, DAO layer, and database layer. In the application layer, we are implementing CPP CMS framework for REST API. And through application layer, we will accept input, and then we will go to business layer for business logic based on the requirement of the chat application. And business layer in turn accesses database layer for storing, retrieving, and modifying the database uh, or data. So this is the overview of web layer. We have three services: user service, group service, and message service. For all three services, we have different classes for the CRUD operation: create, update, and get data for respective functionalities, and they include different methods. So we are using authentication for user, and we do that using hashing and salting. This is the business layer where we will have all the business logic required by the chat application. And to provide that, we are using interfaces. This is the database layer. We have three options: SQLite, MySQL DB, and Oracle DB. But we are using Oracle DB to store, modify, and retrieve the data. Thank you all. I will be requesting Archana to start with the task one.
Yeah, thank you, Medha. I'll share my screen. Yeah. Now I'll talk about the task one. I'm Archana. Um, and the first task is about default user for the chat server. So default user is like who will should exist when the server is installed and launched for the very first time. This existing user should be admin for this system. So for this change, we have introduced a new table, GC underscore user role, and script DB script changes were made for this task. So whenever the server is launched for the very first time, this default user is created in the database, and the role is set to admin using this stored procedures. So now our server will have an admin for the system. So this is about the first task that we had, and now I'll hand over to Sneha for the next one.
Thank you, Archana. Good evening, everyone. I'm Snehata. I'll be talking on the task 2 of translating the Python scripts to um, Postman equivalent scripts. I'll be sharing the screen. Yeah, this is we had the task of translating the existing Python scripts to Postman equivalent collections. So we generated two JSON scripts which were generated by exporting the Postman tests into collection tests into JSON files. So we can import these files back to Postman and run the tests. The test can be run as a test suite or as a individual test. So now I'll be giving the demo of what we have done. So this is the Postman test we have. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
this is the Postman test. We have two test cases that we have, and when we can run this as a collection. One second. Yeah, so this is the result, or we can run individual tests for testing. Yeah, that's all I have from my side. Over to Padma. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I'll be continuing with the task related to unit testing for business layer. So this was a new requirement to be compliant with the test-driven environment for our development environment. So mainly we targeted with the business layer, and we have user layer and the group service. So we took the public APIs and we created some of the test cases for the implementation to verify the functionality. So here are some of the examples, like create user, update user, delete user for the user service. And for in the group service, we create the group and then add the members and delete group. I'll be giving a short a demo about this implementation. So as we can see here, some of the unit test cases are executed and one is failing. That is because we are trying to create the existing group. So once we make sure that we mock the delete group and then execute this particular test case, then it will be fine. Thanks. Over to you, Uma, for the next task.
Thank you, Padma. Good evening, everyone. So I'll be explaining the task 4. The task was to run the logging facility separately. So it was a change request. So the requirement was the logging should be done separately, not in the thread that invoked it. And we have to make sure that while implementing this, none of the log messages are lost. So we have implemented this requirement using STL queues. So as soon as a log is generated, we would be pushing them to a queue. And we have set a limit for the queue. That is the maximum number of log messages the queue will be holding. And we'll keep pushing the log messages to the queue as it comes. And once the limit is reached, then only we'll start popping out messages one by one, and we'll be writing them to the respective logger instances. In our application, we have the logger instances we have used So the logs can be generated as a text file or a JSON file or in a console or in an XML file, etc. And as you all are aware that there are different types of logs that gets generated. So there can be fatal, info, warning, or error messages. So we have made sure that none of the fatal errors are pushed to the queue and kept waiting until they are popped out. So as soon as we receive a fatal message, we'll just write it immediately to the respective logger instance. So here is a code snippet of how we have implemented this requirement using logs. And while writing the logs to the respective logger instances, we have made sure that we have used mutex logs to avoid concurrent writing. Let's have a demo. So the logs are getting generated in the console using the queue implementation here. And in the current setup of the application, in the log config file, so we have mentioned that the logs should get generated in the text file as well. So we'll just see if that has also got created in the text file using the queue implementation. So as you can see, the logs have got created in both text file as well as in the console using our implementation. Yeah, that's it about, excuse me, that's it about my task. And I'll be passing on to Shilpa.
Thanks, Uma. So good evening, everyone. Myself Shilpa, and I would be explaining about the task 5, where the requirement was to expose certain performance statistics through the web server. And this was basically a new requirement for an enhancement. We had to enable the performance monitoring for our GC server. So here the web server already exposes certain REST endpoints through its existing web services, such as the user service and the message service. So as a part of this enhancement, we introduced a new REST endpoint, and that endpoint could basically display us the performance counters which get incremented or get calculated inside the application. So these were some of the code changes that we made for this enhancement. Inside our user service classes, we maintained some counters, and then we introduced some new handlers to handle the new REST call. That was the perf counter was a new REST endpoint introduced by us. And within this functionality, what we did was we constructed a new JSON. We constructed a JSON response with key value pairs, and they actually returned the value of the internal counters that are maintained, and they keep getting incremented as new users log in or whenever there is a login failure and whenever any new users are added or deleted. And then we return this JSON response through HTTP. So I'll be presenting a small demo for this functionality. So this is actually our server is running, our application is running on the port 9000 here. And we already have few users in the system. So this perf counters was a new REST endpoint that we have implemented. and it prints us this JSON response, which any client application can retrieve and they can use to display some meaningful graphs. So as of now, we are seeing 0 values as we have just started our server and there were no login or any new users were not added or deleted. So we will just try logging in few users and see. So here we have an existing user. So we'll try logging in using the user service. So there was a successful response returned. And then one more user will try logging in. This was successful again. Now I changed the password for this user to some incorrect value. So now if I try to log in, it gives me 401 unauthorized. So again, I give some incorrect password. It gives me 401 unauthorized. So if I now refresh my web service response here, so I can see that there have been 2 active users. These were the users we just logged in, and there were 2 failed login attempts. So that's all from my end. Thank you, everyone. And I'll pass over to Yashaswini for the next demo.
Yeah, thank you, Shilpa. So let me present. Hope the screen is visible. So, hi everyone. So I'm talking about the memory analysis we did for the chat server using the Valgrind tool. So for that, we had taken a test application that we have developed within our team. So the test application mainly concentrating on the business layer. In the business layer, user service and the group service. So when we run the Valgrind, we could get a report. That's what I'm showing in this screen. So we could see that like before doing any fixes, just when we run, so we could see definitely lost. That's the memory leak. It gives memory leak report. So definitely lost, it was 0, and indirectly lost, it is 0, possibly, and still some values were there, some bytes, but actually it was from the OTL layer, which is we have used that for the, it is a database access library which we have used in the chat server. So we didn't that's where we didn't concentrate on fixing these things. Only this part where I have made it right, we had it is seen like error summary 20 errors from 12 context. Sorry. So it is the memory error, it was showing that also one error was there. So I'll go show in the next snippet. So in the report, we could see that there is a mismatch free delete of it was showing, and even the line number, sorry. In the line number it is shown. So it is in the line number 57 as we have given a debug build. So even though we get exactly where the problem is. So we could see that like in this code part, that code snippet I have shared here. So in the code part, there is some issue. So here it is telling like we are allocating a buffer of character of size 100. But yes, we have used the delete, but we are deallocating only one chunk of memory, not the 100 full 100 characters we have used, character block we have used. So that was what it was telling, like sorry, here mismatch free delete or delete of some free is happening, but we have not used the appropriate free API we have to use. So the fix was like just to give that square brackets in the for the leak. So after fixing, we ran the Valgrind report again. So you can see that now the errors changed to 19 and from 11 context. So it was 12 context, now it become 11. So only one error was there. So here like the context means like we have like see this code snippet, if it is run it is available. So this part it means one error. And errors here, what it means is like how many times this code snippet has been run. So if it is like, for example, 3 times this code snippet is run, that means like it shows like 3 errors in one context. So that's what about the Valgrind and the memory leak details. So that's all from my side. Thank you. And wish passing over to Archana. Sorry. What is that?
Yeah, thanks, Yashaswini.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello again. Now I'll talk about task 7. It is a new requirement, and it's basically about creating whoever creates a group, the functionality group services will be the admin of the group. So we didn't have this admin feature earlier. So this new requirement, to accommodate this, we have introduced a new column user role into the GC user group table. And this role is set to admin when a user creates a new group. For all other roles, it is set to member. So we'll go ahead and have a quick demo of how this works. So I have this GC server running in the background, and I ran a script which creates some admin users. So I'll log in as use the client and log in as Sneha, and I'll try to create a group with a new admin feature. So we can check in against the database, like. So if you notice here, it's Sneha is the new admin for this new group 4. So we have, along with this admin, we have other privileges which will be shown in the next task. Right now, I'll hand it over to Sneha for the, sorry, not Sneha, Chaitra for the next task explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana, and good afternoon, everybody. I'll be speaking about task 8, which is a feature included in the group privileges. That is a new requirement where the user should be able to exit the group. It is a new requirement. At any given point of time, the user should be able to exit the group by providing the group name and email. And if anybody else tries to remove the user from the group, an error should be logged. Till now, the feature was such that anybody could create a group and anybody could remove other users, and they can remove each other, or there was no such feature as admin who can have a control over the group. With the addition of this, we are also giving a feature where user can be exiting from the group at any given point of time. So this is the code which has been updated to remove the user when by checking the admin credentials, and if the user is the same user who is trying to get out of the group. Otherwise, an error will be logged. We have used the Python scripts existing, and we have tried to test the code and the changes, and it has been working as of now. I'll be showing a small demo of the code changes. And already I have the server running. I have logged in as Chaitra, and I have created a group BTM, and I have added 3 members, Medha, Uma, and Yashaswini. And this can be seen in the group user table as it. So I have another window where I logged in as Medha, and I am trying to remove the user Uma, which is which should be logging an error. So it's an error, and we can see that the error has been logged, that no admin rights to remove the user from the group. But when I try to exit myself, it's a successful one. Also, I can show it on the table. So now Medha has been removed from the group. So in this way, we are ensuring no other user is interfering with the current user. Thank you all, and rest will be explained by Medha. I'll be handing over to Medha. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitra. Let me sharing the screen. So this is Medha here. I'm taking the task 9 of extending the task 9 of giving admin the privilege to add member to the group. This is the new requirement, and it touches all the 3 layers. So if we will check through the whenever we get request from the user to add member to the group, we will check if the user is of type admin by passing it to group service, and in turn group service will contact with database checks, and once we return we will check if the user is of having the user role as admin. If suppose, then we will move forward and remove the we will add the user into the group, else we will not give permission for the user to add any other user to add to the group. So this is the admin privileges. I will be showing the demo. So this is the server we are running, and this is the database I have created. And then these are the 2 users through which I have logged in. I have logged in using Medha in this one, and then through Yashaswini in this one. So through Yashaswini, I have created group 1. We have 2 groups, group 1 and group 2. I have created group 1 by Yashaswini. So Yashaswini is admin of group 1, and Medha is admin of group 2. And in both the group, Uma is present as a member. So we can check if we can add a member by admin of the group by giving add member. So Yashaswini is admin of the group 1, so we can add someone to the group 1. We will add Chaitra. So we were able to add Chaitra to group 1 by Yashaswini, as Yashaswini is the admin of the group 1. But Yashaswini is not admin of the group 2. So we have to see if we can add someone who is not an admin of group 2. So we will not be able to add anybody from who is not admin of that group. So I can show it here. So we were able to add Chaitra to group 1 but we were not able to add Chaitra to group 2 by Yashaswini, as Yashaswini is not admin of group 2. The errors while we get adding will be shown in server as well as in a text file. Thank you. I will be giving forward to Archana, who will be explaining task 11 and 12. Yeah.
Thanks, Yashaswini. So this admin privileges, it's basically add and remove members. So add part is already explained by Medha, and this remove is also similar to the add member privilege. It just goes and checks whether this member who is trying to remove from the group, whether he's an admin or not. So this task 10 and 11 are kind of related in the sense that whenever the admin himself exits the group, then the next member in the group would be uh, he will become the admin for that group. So if you have Sneha as admin and we have two members, Padma and Medha, then if Sneha herself, if she is removed from the group, then the next member, Padma, will become the admin for that group. So for this, we didn't make any code change. It was just a DB layer change where we changed the stored procedure and made sure that the next member in the group is the admin. So, oh, my camera is on. Okay, we'll have a quick demo for this. So I have the GC server running in the background, and I have see, I had already created Sneha as the admin for group 5 here, and I have added, in the meantime, I have added members Medha and Padma to this group. So I'll go ahead and remove member. I'm logged in as Sneha and I'll remove Sneha from the group. So in that case, so Sneha is the admin and the next person in the group would become the admin. In this case, Medha. I forgot to run the SQL query before this, but Medha and Padma were part of group 4 and Sneha was the admin. So with this new functionality, the next member in the group will become the admin if the admin himself or herself exits the group. So this completes like all the tasks we had, and we are now open for any questions or feedback. Thank you so much for your patience.
So thank you all for these wonderful presentations. And I see like a lot of things has been learned and taken into implementation as such. However, I have like a few questions, and if somebody can answer, that would be great, actually. So I've noted few points on basically when I look through the first slide, we talked about business layer, database layer, everything. And as a totality, I understood what was the thing what you have gone through this project. So can somebody let me know like what are the various design patterns that you have come across during this project? Apart from singleton and factory, let's not consider them. But did you saw like any identifiable pattern out there, just to know?
Yeah, Kanu Uma here.
Yeah.
While working with the logger class, so I just came across the chain of responsibility.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there multiple logger instances were given. There was a chain created for the logger, and by default console was a logger instance, and if we create any other logger instance, the console would go to the end of it.
Okay. Did you felt? Meaning, what type of pattern did you mention? Sorry, I didn't got that part.
Chain of responsibility.
Change of responsibility. Okay. And
Yes.
apart from when we talked about the logging mechanism also, I see that okay, we are trying to use queues here. But what if doesn't gets logged to the queue? Can somebody, whoever who was presenting the logging one, can someone let me know like what happens if we lose the message in between?
So we are capturing all the messages. So as soon as a log is generated in the application, so the function where it gets captured, so we are updating that same function here with the queues. Adding the queues. And as and when a log is generated, we push them to the queue unless it is a fatal log. So if it is a fatal log, we will directly write them to the respective logger instance. So that way, none of the log messages are lost here.
Okay. And I hope like during this it is for all actually. I hope during this time maybe in the most of the important steps we have actually done the exception handling also.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we have.
yes.
Great, great. Thank you. The last question is on actually on the Valgrind. How easy or difficult it was to set up this thing and to study actually.
Uh, yeah, Yashasini here. So, Valgrind, like actually for me, it was like one of the presentation tasks. So I had initially done an analysis, so that's where I could take up this task for the memory leak. But the yes, setup was like because the server when we were running, yes, like directly we could not check. So through the test application, we started working on that. So initially, when I was understanding the Valgrind, I tried to get from the net that like each and every leak what it tells, like the still reachable or definitely lost, what it is exactly. I could clearly get it, so that helped me to like even because here in Valgrind, if it is a debug build, it will surely tell us which line what is happening, so we can confidently tell that it is leak from our side or some other place.
Okay, okay. Thank you for sharing this experience, Yashaswini.
Yeah, is it answered your question?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I
thank
was
you.
just trying to see myself like meaning when I was meaning playing with this tool. Well, with
Yes.
actual experience application, it was little tougher for me because it was a
Uh-huh.
bigger application and it took me like half a day in order to generate that report actually for the first time. So I was just trying to see what is your experience in this regard, although it is a smaller one, but I just want
Yes.
to see, check with you.
Yeah, yes, initially, yes. So even we faced some crashes and try to, that's where we started in a separate test application. There we
Mhm.
started running and we could get the report. But anyway, like, yeah, before, like, because I had a knowledge of this in a small application for each leak. So I could do it like better, I felt. Like
Okay,
each, yeah, thank you.
thank you. Finally, no questions. I would like to share a feedback on the whole program. I think it was the feedback which was given as part of the when we reviewed the content of the material. It was actually well adapted, and that's where I saw like okay, a model view pattern, or it's an exceptional handling, or the template uses, and all those things we can clearly see by this demo. So thank you for to our partner. Nothing else on my side.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanu. Do we have any other question from?
Yeah, Kavya, Rashmi here.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah. First of all, thank you. I think it was a, wonderful presentation and very clear and deep dive. Um, I also had one, I mean, I have couple of questions. One regarding this Valgrind. So I just want to understand, I mean, did you guys got an opportunity to, let's say, instead of using a smart or a raw pointer and just see that if the memory leak is happening, the report is showing the memory leak. Were you able to experiment in that direction?
Hello, Rashmi Padmashri here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashmi, we were able to run some of the sample examples and create a memory leak and observe that in the Valgrind report.
Okay, so in that you indeed saw that indirectly lost it is showing, directly lost it is showing the memory leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. My second question is with respect to the users. I mean, were we able to test or maybe experiment that how many users the system can handle? Is there a like a threshold or something like that?
Currently, sorry, again, Padmashri here. Currently, we concentrated on the public APIs and not on max and min limit as such for the creation of the user and also other stuff. So we created users and then we just created few users and then we um, mock the test case with basic functionalities. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I just had one last question. The flow diagram which was being shown. So, which tool? Yeah, I mean the flow diagrams. So, is there any tool which you guys used, or was this flow diagram already given and you were designing based on that?
We use star UML, and but for this project we were already provided with some flow diagrams.
Okay, okay.
But we have gone through training for star UML, and for other case studies also we use star UML to generate all these diagrams.
Okay. So that's all from my side, but yeah, and as Kanu already covered, I think the pretty much the training program was pretty much covered, and it is good that even the Star UML thing was covered because it will be very useful in the project and especially the Valgrind because I mean in my project we are dealing regularly with Valgrind, so yeah, overall I feel the training program was quite good and it will help in the day-to-day programming activities.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have one quick question. So, I mean, did you guys write any unit test cases for all the things that you have done?
Hi, Anjan, Padmashri here. Yes, we did write some of the test cases.
Okay. And did you guys go through? I mean, if you guys did it, so coverage of the code. I mean, by using your unit test case. I mean, did you guys take any report and see how much code is covered?
Actually, we had the XML page generated with, we use CPP unit test framework. We didn't use the coverage, G coverage for testing the coverage of code coverage, how many test cases, because we concentrated only on the public APIs, and the coverage was much lesser. Yeah.
So I saw that, okay, you guys demoed pretty good. So how did you make sure that your program covers the corner cases? So did you guys go through, I mean, come up with some test plan to make sure that we execute the corner cases and then there are no errors there? Or okay, it was simply to make sure that, okay, I mean, the things are no, I mean, we understand the design. So, or you guys went through that and brainstormed in each of your group and then see what are the corner cases we have to cover? Did you guys do something of this kind?
Yeah, we did discuss with our base code expert, and also among we had the discussion within the team, because all tasks were interrelated. And as we said, like some of the corner test cases, like admin can't delete, admin can only delete, and other users can't delete. So all those were also taken care. And yeah, these are some of the corner cases that we considered. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. So not on this training itself. I mean, I just wanted to ask you guys. I mean, how was because you guys are the first returning batch. I mean, how did you feel to return back to this training, doing this project, which has pretty much everything. So it is really good that you guys have done what you have done. So I mean, can two of you guys share your experience of this training, how it was to return back, if possible, 2 minutes each.
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Archana. I'm returning back almost after 9 to 10 years. And this training was pretty much a refresher for what I had like lost in this past few years. So it was great to come back and do some coding. And I loved this program, and I'm pretty excited to join back the industry.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, Chaitra here. Yeah, it's the same thing what Archana told. We are first of all we thank Amadeus for this Udan program where they are calling back for the people taking a break. And I came back after a gap of 6.5 years. And from day one, it has been a very good learning experience. Whatever we learned, we did in this gap, along with other responsibilities, we would have lost it, and or we would have lost the touch. But it was very refreshing, and we could learn many things. Even few things which we didn't knew or which we didn't work on, we had a hands-on experience on that, as well as we could know about it. And again, I thank you all, even the instructors and Amadeus, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for your kind words. Thank you all the SMEs for being part of this session, and of course a big thanks to Pratyan and especially you, Lakshmi. You've really clearly have taken really good care of our participants, so thank you all so very much.
Thank you so much, Kavya. For the kind words. Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to have you all be a part of Amadeus as of now. So thank you all for giving your time. Thank you all for putting in all so much effort and bringing up this. Sorry.
Hello, Kavya. Hi.
Yes, Kavya.
I think someone was.
Hi, Kavya. Is this KK here? Able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to add a couple of things, if I may.
Go on. Yes.
Right. So, team, just like to start with congratulating all of you for a brilliant show. To get such an output in just about 2.5 to 3 days is stupendous. So, congratulations to all, to every team member who's present here. So, thank you guys for putting up this wonderful show. If I have to just go back to the first day when I met the entire team, And I had, in fact, I've been interacted a lot with the team initially as well, and to see the transformation right from the day when you're all coming back from a break, and to have your learning journey kick-started again, get used to the rigors of the industry, and then to end it with such a beautiful show is not only satisfying, it's in fact making us very proud of the way you guys have represented yourselves and Amadeus. And congratulations to all, and thank you, Lakshmi, for being a wonderful mentor to all of them and to bring this output. So deeply appreciated. Great work, guys. Great work, Padma and Chaitra and all of you. Archana, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you, KK.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to thank all the SMEs to give their valuable inputs. Thank you so much. So I think we have a vote of thanks planned. So Kavya, should we go ahead with that?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, Padma Shri here again, and we thank you all for your valuable time, and we thank Amadeus for organizing this training. This was very important to us, and we thank Pratyan team, which dedicatedly trained us on so many programming essentials, which we believe will help a lot in our journey ahead as interns, and then all the way in the programming journey. Thanks a lot. Yeah, see ya.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for your efforts. And just to all the trainees in here, since this is going to mark as your last bit of your entire training program, Monday onwards, please, you may reach out to your managers. You can reach out to them right now also if it's not too late, and get to know what your tasks would be from Monday onwards, and be prepared, and all the best when you are on floor. And I wish you all tremendous success and great journey with Amadeus. Thank you all so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Kavya.
Thank you, Kavya.
Thank you so much, Kavya.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Meena.
Kavya.
Thanks, all the SMEs. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice
Been a
evening.
pleasure.
Bye.
Thanks, Sanju.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kanu. Thanks, Rashmi.
Thank you, guys.